Sorry for not coming. Okay, thank you very much. We are going to use this opportunity to be getting ourselves prepared. Thank you for being here. So here we have a straight line. Right, we have a straight line here. This straight line has three angles put together. So this is a straight line with three angles here put together. So we are to find the value of x, but we are already aware that the sum of the angles in a triangle, the sum of the angles in a triangle is equals to 180 degrees. So we are going to add up the three angles and equate it to 180 degrees. So which means we are going to take 7x minus 6, okay? Then plus, remember it's in degrees. We will not need to put it, but don't worry. Let's not just put it. Then here we have 3x. And then this third side, we have 4x. We have 4x minus 24. Then all these are equal. All these are equal to 180 degrees. To 180 degrees. So this is what we have. Okay. Then we bring like terms together. The terms in x will be brought together. So here we have 7x. Okay. Here the bracket does not really matter because the bracket does not change. Nothing is changing whether we open the bracket or not. So just bring the like terms together. Bring 7x, then plus. Bring the 3x, then plus 4x. So this is 4x. All right, so these are the three values in terms of x. Then this is minus 6, and this is minus 24. So we bring in minus 6 and minus 24. So we have added everything here. Here we have the two numbers are already here. Then the values, the terms in x are already here. So we can then equate to 180 degrees. All right. Now it is time for us to add up. When we add up, we have 7x plus 3x, that is 10x. Then 10x plus 4x is 14x. So we are going to write 14x, and this is minus 6 minus 24. That is minus 30. So we have minus 30 here. Minus 30. Yes, that's what we have here. Minus 30. Then this is equals to 180 degrees. 180 degrees. All right. So this is 15. This is 14x minus 30. So 180 degrees. All right. So we may even change this one. Let's make this here. Let's make here 4x. Okay. Let's make here 4x. So here becomes 4x. So that we can have our 15 here. Okay, we have our 15x here minus 30 degrees equals 180 degrees. All right, so then we can move this one here. We move minus 30 to the other side. So we'll be left with 15 degrees. 15 degrees is equals 180 degrees minus 30 in degrees. Please don't forget they are all in degrees. All right. So all these are they are all in degrees. Everything is in degrees. So you just take note of that, please. And this is 15 degrees. 15x degrees equals 180. Please, minus is crossing. Okay. When minus is crossing, it changes to plus. So we are making here plus. And when we add up this 180 plus 30 degrees, what do we get? We are going to get Okay, when we add up, we get 210 degrees. 210 degrees. This is what we are going to get. When we add up these two, okay, we get 210 degrees. Then we can simply do well by dividing both sides by 15. So if we divide by 15, divide here by 15, all right? So we divide here by 15. We are going to have this 15 striking themselves out. So we are now left with only x. Okay, this 15 will strike this one out. Here we have x. So this is 15, all right? So 15 into 210, all right? So the easier way to get is 15 times 10. We know that 15 times 10 will give us 150, okay? Then 15 times 12, that is another 30 added, okay? So to give us 180, all right? Then another 15 to make it 13. If you add 15 to 180, we'll get 195, all right? That's 195, which means it's 13. 15 will go 13 times, right, to give us 195. So if you add 195, then plus another 15, okay? Can we add another 15 to it, to 195? That's 200 and 210. Yes, we are correct, which means we can actually get, 14 here, which means it is 14 degrees. X is 14 degrees, all right? Because 15, okay, we can even make it easier for us, all right? By canceling. Okay, let's even cancel so that it will be better for us. Okay, 5 here, 3 here is 5, all right? And 3 into 21, 3 into 21 is 7, and this is 70. So that gives us 70 here. So that gives, then 5 into 5 will give us 1 here. Then 5 into 7 is 1, remember 2. So, and 5 into, shift the 2 to 0, it becomes 20. 20 divided by 5 is 4. So that's 14 degrees. Okay, see, another way you can get these values. So this is how you can do. We can actually work it out without using calculator or any other processing device. Okay, you can work it out yourself, because when you are writing JAMB or some other exams, you may not be allowed to use calculator. But if you are allowed, no, it's not bad. Just divide. But if not, you can go ahead canceling. Okay, and when you cancel, you get your final value. Right. So this is exactly what we have today. This means that, please let's pay attention. I'm going to look at it again. All right. Here we are giving angles between lines. These are lines, okay, and these are angles between the lines. All right. Of course, angles are forms when lines meet or cross each other. All right, and there are some principles that follows. There are so many principles that follows angles between lines. All right, so we are aware that the angle on a straight line, when summed up, will give us 180 degrees. So this is called sum of angles on a straight line. Okay, angles on a straight line. So this is the sum of angle on a straight line. Then when we bring the like terms together, bring the terms in x, 7x plus 4x plus 4x again, all right? And that's what, this is 8x plus 7x, so this will give us 15x. Then here, minus 6, this is minus 6 brought down here, then minus 24 brought down here. So when both of them are brought down, it gives us minus 30, okay, equals 180 degrees. So here we can simply shift or transfer minus 30 to the right hand side. When we transfer minus 30 to the right hand side, it becomes plus 30. So when minus 30 is crossing, it changes to plus 30. That's why we have plus 30 here. And when we add 30 and 180 degrees, we are going to get 210. Okay, we'll get 210 degrees. So 15 here, x becomes equals to 210 degrees. Remember, we have to find the value of x If you look at this point here, we are told to find x, not 15x. So whatever is attached to x, use the inverse of the operation. If it's by multiplication, use division. If it's by addition, use subtraction. So here is by multiplication, so we have to use division, okay, to cancel this, to cancel the coefficient of x, okay, and that gives us x equals 15 into 210 degrees is 14 degrees, while this one cancels each other. So this is the solution to the first question for this morning. Welcome to AZ Science TV. This is a TV or a channel where we solve problems in mathematics and physics. So please do well to always join this class. It holds in the morning and in the evening and during holidays. So our students are at home right now, resting in this part of the world, in West Africa. And so they are busy having their holidays. So I do hope you are enjoying your holidays. So tomorrow will be another time to resume and continue our work. So thank you very much for being here. Now, we'll take the second question. The second question is quite simple. All right. So let's go for the next one. So in this case, we have x here. We are giving x to be here, and we are giving y to be here, not drawn to scale. Then we are giving m. So I'm going to restructure this diagram. Okay, we are giving m, and so here we are giving m. Sorry, we are giving m here. So here we are giving m and z. This is m and this is z. All right, this is z, and we are told that if m, so this is a question, if m equals half of x plus y plus z, x plus y plus z, then we are told to find the value of m. Find m. Find m. So this is one very key problem here, or key question under angles between lines. So here we are given x, y, m, and z all on a straight line. Okay, all lie on a straight line. And we are told that if m equals half of x plus y plus z, that we should find m. So please, let's follow carefully. First, we are aware that x plus y plus m plus z, all of them, when added, is equals to 180 degrees. So in the place of m, in that equation 1, in the place of m, replace it with this, then we can solve and get our answers. So first, we know that x plus y plus m then plus z is equals to 180 degrees. Okay, this is what we are aware. We know this already because they are all angles on a straight line. So when added up, we give us 180 degrees. So, but we know that this m is this. So in place of m, substitute, okay, substitute for this. All right. So what we are going to do is this. There is another way to do it. Okay, you can separate these ones. Separate this with this half of x plus y plus z. Okay, but no problem. We can still do it the other way around. X plus y. Then this is plus z. All right, this is plus z. But instead of putting plus, okay, we can just put our plus z here. Okay, this plus z here, so that our m will now be equals to 180 degrees. 180 degrees. All right. So now we have to replace this with this now. So please, let's just pay attention as we proceed. X plus y plus z. Then this is plus. In place of m, m is equals to half of x plus y plus z. So just replace it here. All right. We replace it here. We then have a half plus plus x here. Then this is y. Then this is z. Then equating it to 180 degrees. 180 degrees. This is what we are going to equate it to be. All right. So if we add up half of x plus x, okay, is 3/4 of x. So which means we have 3/4 of each of them. Okay. And what it means is that we just take half of this, add it to x, take half of y, add it to y, take half of z, add it to z. All right. If we do that, it means we are going to have x plus half of x, half of x, then plus y, then half of y. Bring half of y here, half of y. Then we have z here, z, then plus half of z, half of z. Then everything is equals to 180 degrees. Okay? Because this is x and its half, this is y and its half, this is z and its half. Okay? So when you add up, you get 180 degrees. So half of this added to this, you know, this is 1 and this is half. So this is 1 and half. 1 and half. All right? So this is going to give us 1 and half. 1 and half of x. Then this other one for y, we'll get 1 and half of y. Then plus z, we have 1 and half of z. All right? And this is equals to 180 degrees. This is equals to 180 degrees. So you can see that 1 and half is what? Is very common. All right? 1 and half is very common, but there's no need doing all of that. Yes, 1 and half is very common. So what you do, bring it out, okay, which means we now have 1 and half of x, 1 and half of y, so it becomes plus y, and 1 and half of z becomes z because we have taken 1 and half out, okay, and this will give us 180 degrees. 180 degrees. Okay, then we can divide both sides by 1 and half. All right, or we can transform it. 1 and half is the same thing as 3/2 of x plus y plus z. And this is equals to 180 degrees. All right, so if we divide both sides by this, okay, we are going to multiply. Remember, this is division. So when division is crossing, change to multiplication. And when multiplication is crossing, change to division. So just bring it here and invert it. All right, it means that we have our x plus y plus z is equals to 180 degrees. 180 degrees, then times, okay, times 2/3. Times 2/3. This is what we are going to get. Okay, then we have our x plus y plus z equals this. 3 into 180 is 60. Okay, it's 60. Then 60 times 2 is 120 degrees. 120 degrees. So this is x plus y plus z. But our m, remember we are told to find m. So our m is half of x plus y plus z, which means it's half of 120, which means our m is actually 60 degrees. Okay, what it means is, therefore, please follow me. Okay, it therefore means that m, which is now half of x plus y plus z, is equals to what? Half of 120 degrees. Because it's half of, look at it, x plus y plus z is equals to 180 degrees. So the implication is that m is now half of this, as written here. Okay, if, okay, and this is what we have. So, and it therefore means that m is equals to 60 degrees. Okay, that is what m is. M is 60 degrees. So this is exactly how the problem is presented. This is the solution to this problem. So here is 60 degrees, which means if you add 60 to 120, then you get 180 degrees. Sorry, you know this m now, it doesn't mean that this is not the scale. It is not drawn to scale, so that you don't make the mistake. Okay, not actually drawn to scale, because when drawn to scale, the gap here will be more than this. All right, so it's just to illustrate what we are doing here. So thank you very much for joining me today. In today's class, we are dealing with angles between lines and angles in triangles. So, but to start with, we are starting with we are doing angles between lines. Then when we are done with angles between lines, we can then move on to angles in triangles. All right, so I hope this is well understood. In case you don't understand, or you have any suggestion or question or any statement to make, please place it in the comment section, so that I can have it to myself. All right, please place it in the section. Thank you very much for joining me. And in case you have not, please do well to subscribe, so that you can keep getting values, more values from AZ Science TV. It's a science TV, but as long as you're offering mathematics, you can also join, because most times you solve maths, and when it comes to practicals, we then focus on physics. All right, while also doing maths side by side. So this is the second question. Please, this is not question 1. This is question number 2. Okay, so here we are told to find the value of m. All right, we are told to find the value of m when given, we are given m to be equal to half of x plus y plus z. All right, so, and this is the shape or the diagram given to us, that the sum of x and y and m and z will give us 180 degrees, because it's the sum of the angle on a straight line. So when angles are on a straight line, sum them up, it is going to give you 180 degrees. So that's what it's going to give us. So it means that x plus y plus m plus z, which are everything here put together, the total of everything here is equal to 180 degrees. Okay, and that is sum of angles on a straight line. Sum of angles, okay, on a straight line, So these are some of the angles on a straight line. So this sum of angles on a straight line, this is a straight line. Okay, line AB, for instance, if I put A here and put B here, line AB is on a straight line, these angles are on it. Okay, so when you add them up, we get 180 degrees. But we are given a condition here that m is equals to half of x plus y plus z. All right, so what it means is that in place of m here, we put half of, you can see it here, we put half of x plus y plus z, which is what we are given here. Right, then when we add up, when we clear the bracket here and add them up, add the similar terms, x and half of x is what we have here. Then here is y, this y here, okay, y here, then plus half of y, because this half is affecting y, so bring it here. Then we have z here, brought down here, and half of z. Look at it. So it means we have 1/2 of each of the variables left, okay, after substitution, and that adds up to give 180 degrees. Then if we factorize the expression, we have 1/2 brought out here. Then we are left with x plus y plus z inside the bracket. This is equal to 180 degrees. All right. Then the next phase is for us to transform this. If you transform this, it becomes 3/2. Okay. 1/2 is same thing as 3/2. Then this x plus y plus z equals 180 degrees. Then we can divide by 3/2. Okay. To divide by a number, it means to multiply by that number and invert it, okay, to multiply by the inverse of the number. So you can see the inverse of 3/2 is 2/3. Then we have multiplied here now. So the same thing as dividing by this number. So if we do that, we are going to get 120 degrees here, all right, which means x plus y plus z is 180 degrees. But we are given here that m is equals to half of x plus y plus z. But what is x plus y plus z? Look at it here. X plus y plus z is equal to 180 degrees. But the question is demanding for half of it. Okay? That is half of x plus y plus z. So which means it's demanding for half of 120 degrees. Okay? So which means m is equal to half of x plus y plus z is half of this 120. Which is this half of 120 now, which gives us 60 degrees. So that is the solution to the question number 2, and I hope it is well understood. Please place your comment in this comment section, whatever you want me to do. Okay, if there are other ways we can solve this problem, please place it there so that other subscribers and viewers can see it and also use it to solve. Okay, if there are other methods, but this method is also very good. So I decided to use this method because I wanted you to have a glimpse of a different method for solving this problem. So thank you very much for being here. Now that is for question number 2. So we are going straight to question number 3 now. Question number 3. So we are going to look at the third question. Question number 3. So in question number 3, we are told to find the value of x in this. So we are given 2 lines. So we are given 2 lines like this. Here we have something like this. Then this one is attached to it from here. So we are given x. We are given x here. Okay, sorry, we are given this extended this way. So here we have x. Here we have 35 degrees. It is x degree. That is 35 degrees, and this is 105. Okay, and we are told that these 2 lines are parallel. Please remember, it's not drawn to scale. These 2 lines are parallel. Then we are told to find the value of x. So we are given something like this, and we are told to find the value of x. I'm sure if you know how to solve this and you have an idea, please, you can place it in the comment section for others to also look at it and see. All right. Now, we have principles for solving angles between lines. So these are angles between lines. These 2 lines are parallel. All right. So any line that is crossing 2 parallel lines, such lines are called transversal. So this line is transversing. So what we are simply going to do is to extend this line backward. Okay. If we extend this line, or simply put, instead of extending it backward, we can simply look at certain properties of angles between lines and how to solve them. Okay, what are the characteristics of angles between lines? One, we have what we call vertically opposite angles. Then we also have alternate angles and corresponding angles. So here, we are not going to use so much. We are going to use just two to get what is here. All right? We'll get what is here. We'll place a letter here, maybe Y or A or B. Okay? I'll just choose Y to be here. So what we are going to do is that we are going to note this. Look at this position. You can see it. So note this position. All right? I have included it in this position. If you look at this position, you will see something striking. Okay, let me redraw the diagram. If you look at this position, just so I don't waste time, this angle here is similar to this angle here. If you look at this angle here, they are similar. So they are in similar position. You can see this is a straight line, and this line are parallel. So they have the same orientation, all right, because they are parallel. So, and you can see this same line is crossing them, all right, which means this angle is equal to the angle we have here, all right. So I can decide to name here. What am I going to name it? Let me name it Y. Okay, let me name here Y. Right? So Y is equals to 105 degrees. Y is equals to 105 degrees. That is just Y. You don't need to calculate it. Y is 105 degrees. No, 115 degrees rather. Okay? But the question is this: what is the reason for this? That is where you are going to open a bracket here. You will open a bracket and write corresponding angles. Okay? Y is corresponding to this. So this position here is corresponding to this position. So corresponding angles are equal. Okay? You write corresponding angles. We call it corresponding angles. Don't forget. Corresponding angles. So the position of Y corresponds to the position of 115 degrees. So that's why we call it corresponding angles. And corresponding angles are equal. Are equal. So corresponding angles are equal. Since corresponding angles are equal, therefore Y is equal to 115 degrees. So that is why, because corresponding angles are equal. So we are done with that. We have gotten our Y. If this place is 115 degrees, now what is here? What do we, let's just call here P, or let's call here Z. All right, let's call here Z. Remember, we are looking for X. Okay, we are looking for X. So let's call here Z. Now, Z plus Y is equals to 180 degrees. Z plus Y is equals to 180 degrees. And I'm sure we know why Z plus Y is equals to 180 degrees. It's simply because both of them lie on a straight line. So they are angles between lines, and they are neighboring angles. Okay, look at them here. They lie on different sides, on the adjacent sides of this line. All right, they are adjacent to each other here on this line, not opposite but adjacent. So this is Z and this is Y. So when add them up, we'll get 180 degrees. All right. So, but we are aware that Z plus, we are aware that Y is 115 degrees, right? So what it means is that we are going to substitute for Y here, and that is equals to 180 degrees. All right, so we just substituted for Y here. We have not done anything else than just to substitute. We brought down the 180 degrees here. Okay, we brought down 180 degrees here, then substituted for Y here. So we can now take our 115 degrees to this other side. If we do that, we are going to have our Z to be equal to 180 degrees, 180 degrees, minus 115 degrees. So this is how we solve this. And when we do our subtraction, 180 minus 100 minus 100 is gone. So 80 minus this 10 here, okay, 80 minus 10 is 70. 70 minus 5 is 65. So it means that Z is equals to 65 degrees. Z is 65 degrees. So Z is 65 degrees, which means Z is the answer for 65 degrees, the answer for Z here. So we now have two angles here. We have the two angles here. So instead of finding this and then subtracting from 180, there is no point. If we add these two, we are going to get X. All right. So what it means is that we are simply going to say that X is equals to Z plus 35 degrees. Z plus 35 degrees. Okay? X is equals to Z plus 35 degrees. All right? And this is exterior angles. Exterior angles. This is opposite angles of these are the opposite angles to this exterior angles. All right? Which means when we add these two, we must definitely get this. All right? So what you call exterior angles. Opposite angle to the exterior angles. So because opposite angles, let's just use this symbol. Opposite angles of an exterior angle. Opposite angles of an exterior angle. So these two angles are opposite angles to this exterior angle, which means when you add the opposite angles of an exterior angle, it is equals to the exterior angle. All right? So that is the implication. Therefore, it means that our X is equals to Z. We are already aware that Z is 65. So we are going to substitute for Z, which is 65 degrees, then plus 35 degrees. Plus 35 degrees. So this is the substitution. Then when we add up, we'll get the value of y, of x rather. Remember, we have to find x. So it means that our x is equals to, now this is 65. 65 plus this 5 here is 70. And 70 plus 30 is 100. So it means that our x is equals to 100 degrees. So this is the value for our x. And I hope we got the arrangement and how we are able to come out of all of them. We know how we got z plus y equals 180. Is the same thing here. Same reason with this one. So it's the same. This one and this are same reasons. All right. This first one is corresponding angles. Okay. While this one is sum angles on a straight line. Sum of angles on a straight line. So sum of angles on a straight line. This second one is sum of a straight line, sum of angles. These two angles are on a straight line. They are adjacent angles on a straight line. Sum of adjacent angles on a straight line. While the first one is corresponding angles are equal, while this one is opposite angles of an exterior angle. So that is the solution to the third problem. I hope we understood this one. For those of us that are just joining us for the first time, this is AZ Science TV. So please do well to subscribe by smashing the subscribe button, okay? So that you can keep getting values here. But I'm going to go over it again for the last time before we go to the next questions, which are angles in triangles. Okay, that will be the next topics because we are done with straight lines now. So let's now go to the next one, all right? So here, we are told to find the value of x. All right, we are told to find the value of x here in this. There are other ways to do it. So in this diagram here, we have y. We are not giving y and z, but we decided to add this so that we can use it to find our z and x. Okay, x. So first, we begin with y. All right. How do we get y? Y is equals to 115 degrees. Okay, y is equals to 115 degrees. And the reason is because y is in the same or corresponding position with 115 degrees. That is what y is. So since y is in the same position, okay, it therefore means that y is equals to 115 degrees. Okay, same value. So corresponding angles are equal. Therefore, y is equals to 15 degrees since they are in the same or corresponding position. Then the second one here is how do we get our z? Okay, remember we are moving to this direction because we are looking for x. So how do we get z? But we are aware that z and y are adjacent angles on a straight line. Okay, adjacent angles on a straight line. And when we sum up two or more adjacent angles on a straight line, it gives us 180 degrees. So z plus y is equal to 180 degrees, and is the sum of the angles on a straight line. And this line, these angles must be adjacent. Please take note. Okay, if they are not adjacent, if they are far apart, if they are not in the same point, if they are not meeting on the same point or at the same point, please, they are not equal to 180 degrees. Okay, we are going to handle that problem in our subsequent class or live stream. All right, so this is z plus 115 equals to 180 degrees. Why? Because our y is already 115 degrees. So substitute for y here, which is 115 degrees. Then if we subtract 115 degrees from 180, we'll get 65. Okay, so z is now 65 degrees. All right, so just take 115 degrees to the other side and subtract it. It gives us 65 degrees. So this gives us x equals z plus 35 degrees. All right, so yes, z equals 65 degrees. But here we are to find x, right? So but we know that x is equals to the opposite interior angles. All right, so the sum of the opposite interior angles will give us x here. All right, which means x is equals to z plus 35, because z plus 35 are opposite angles of x, which is the exterior angle. Exterior means inside. Okay, so but these two are interior angles, so you can call them opposite interior angles. Okay, opposite interior angles to these exterior angles. All right, so and when we substitute for z, knowing z to be 65 degrees, so we come here and substitute for z, which is 65 here. Adding it up gives us 100 degrees. So this is the value for x, and I hope we are deriving value in this class. Please do well to share your comments in the comment section and be an active part and take active part or be an active member of the class for today. For those of us that are still on our enjoying our holidays, short holiday, the midterm break in this part of the world, thank you very much for joining. I appreciate the fact that you are here. You didn't just go and relax at home because of the holidays. They decided to join us. Thank you. And for teachers that are always coming here to do for one content or the other for their students, I appreciate you. Okay, so you keep getting values for my videos. Please do well to subscribe so that you can keep getting more values as long as you join us. Okay, so this is the first segment. Now we are going to the second segment, which has to do with triangles. This has to do with triangles. So that will be question number 3 to question number 6. That will deal with triangles, right? These ones look like triangles too, but it has straight lines too. No problem about that. Now let's go to the next one, which will be in the next segment. Remember, the class has to do with two topics: angles between lines and angles in triangles. So we are going to look at this. Let me start by drawing it. So here I have So we have something like this. We have here is our P, here is our R, here is Q, here is S. Here we are given 52 degrees. 52 degrees. These lines are parallel. These two lines are parallel. So here's our X. Y here is 35. So this is 35, this is 52 degrees. And we are told to find the value of X. Usually, the questions are always in the same format. Okay, okay, let's just go ahead and continue. All right, okay, let's just go ahead and continue. All right, Y is equal to 52 degrees. Y is equal to 52 degrees, okay, because it is in the same or corresponding position as well. Okay, just take note of this. It's just same line. This line here is a transversal, and these two lines, PQ and RS, are parallel to each other. All right, so which means this position and this position are corresponding positions. They are corresponding positions, and if they are, it therefore means that 52 Y is equal to 52 degrees because they are corresponding. They are in corresponding position. So you are going to still write it. Corresponding angles are equal. Corresponding angles. Okay, they are both corresponding angles. Corresponding angles are equal. So corresponding angles are equal. So that is why Y is 52. Okay, that is that. Then for Z, without wasting much time, since we have explained and explained, so for Z, Z is equals to Y. Y is Z equals to Y. Z is equals to Y, which is equals to 52 degrees. 2 degrees. And we call this one vertically opposite angles. Vertically opposite angles. Okay, vertically opposite angles. So vertically opposite angles are also equal. They are equal. So vertically opposite angles are equal. So this angle, you can see that they are directly opposite to each other here, facing each other. So they are said to be vertically opposite angles. They are equal. All right, which means Z is equal to Y, since they are vertically opposite. Now we can, from here, find our X. All right, the third phase is that X plus Y, X plus, there's no need for Y, Z, then plus 35 is equals to 180. And I'm sure we know why. Please, if you know why, put it in the comment section. All right, 180 degrees. So what is the reason? This is the sum of angles in a triangle. All right, the sum of angles in a triangle. So we are now in triangles. So we'll call it sum of angles in a triangle. Sum of angles, sum of the angles in a triangle. So this is the symbol for triangle. Sum of the angles in a triangle. That is what it is. We know that we are looking for X. So we repeat this for X. Our Z is 52 degrees. So we can put our 52 degrees here. Then plus 35. 35 degrees. And this equals 180 degrees. If we add these two together, we are going to have our X plus 50 plus 30 is 80. That's 87 together. 87 degrees, because 2 and 5 will give us 7. That's why it's 87 degrees equals to 180 degrees. So our X will now be 180 degrees minus, we take this plus to the other side, okay, to give us minus 87 degrees. So finally, 180 minus 80 is 100. Then 100 minus 7 is 93 degrees. Okay, just use your calculator, or you do tens and units, 100 tens and units, you will get this. All right, so this is the value for x. X is 93 degrees, z is 52 degrees, and this is 35. When you add them up, we'll get 108 degrees. So that is the question for today. This is question number 4, right? Question number 4, where we are told to find the value of x here, given what we have here. So please, let's pay attention. Let me go over it again. I hope we are following what we are doing here. All right, we have y equals 52 degrees. All right, y equals 52 degrees. From here, y is equals to 52 degrees because y is in the same or corresponding position with 52. So that makes y equal to 52 degrees. Then the next thing is for us to get our z, all right? Y is 52 degrees because it's in the same or corresponding position. The corresponding angles are equal. So y and 52 are corresponding angles, so they are equal. Then what is z? Z and y are vertically opposite angles, so they are facing each other directly, all right? Which means they are equal as well. So z is equal to y, which is 52 degrees, and they are vertically opposite angles, and they are equal because they are vertically opposite angles. Then once we got our z, we add these three together inside this triangle. And this is a closed shape, a closed three-sided shape, a triangle. Then that gives us x plus y plus z plus x plus z plus 35 degrees equals what? 180 degrees, because the sum of the angles in a triangle is equals to 180 degrees. This is the reason. Sum of angles in a triangle. Okay, this is the symbol for triangle, or you can write triangle in full. Then we have our x plus our z is 52 degrees. Okay, that's 52 degrees plus this 35, bring it down here, and it's equals to 180 degrees. We can add up these two to give us 87 degrees. All right, then we can bring 87 to this other side and subtract it from 180 degrees, and that gives us 93 degrees. So thank you very much for joining me, and I hope you are deriving value in this video. All right, so please thank you for your comments and everything. I appreciate all you are doing to keep EZ alive and EZ growing very fast. EZ is growing very fast because of you. So if not for you, EZ will not grow. So let's take the next one. Let's take the next question, which is also finding the value of y. This is y. We are going to now have y here. Okay, that is for question number 5. Question number 5. So I'm going to let this go. Please do enter your suggestions in the comment section, and we'll be more than ready to take them. So let's take the next one. The next one is this. So here we have y here. We have to find the value of y in this case. All right, we find the value of y right here. So it is quite simple. It's not a difficult task. All right, Here is 144 degrees, and we are giving this sides that are equal. These two sides are equal. What it implies is that the angles here, since these two sides are equal, which means this angle and this angle are equal. All right, this angle and these angles are, both of them are equal because they are base angles of isosceles triangle. So the first thing we are going to do is to use angle on a straight line. All right, so I'm going to rename here. I will name this angle, called naming angle. So let me name here to be x. Okay, since here is y, I'll name here to be x. All right, I'll name here to be x. So let me name it here plus here. You can see x plus 144 degrees is equals to 180 degrees. And I'm sure we know the reason, same reason, angle on a straight line. Okay, these are the sum of angles on a straight line. Since they are adjacent angles on a straight line, they are neighboring angles, okay, adjacent angles on a straight line. So we call this one sum of angles on a straight line. Sum of angles on a straight line. Okay, sum of angles on a straight line. So that is what this means. So this is sum of angles on a straight line, and they must be adjacent angles. Okay, then it means that our x is equals to, we can take this plus 144 to the other side. So we now have 180 degrees minus 144 degrees, right? So if we do this, we are going to have our x to be 180 minus 140 will give us 40. Then 40 minus 4. 40 minus 4 is 36 degrees. 36 degrees. That is for x, all right? That is for x. We are already aware that this angle here and this angle are equal, okay? This angle are equal. Now that we have 36 degrees, we have to divide by 2, all right? We divide by 2, okay? That's how to get it. We divide by 2. So since we are looking for y, we divide 36 by 2. All right, this here is 144, and here is here is 36, because when you subtract 100 is gone, 80. Okay, 80 minus 40 is 40. Yeah, then minus 4, that is 36 degrees. All right, so that is what we got there. Then the next thing is to look for the two angles that are equal. This angle here is the apex angle. This is the apex angle, all right? So since this is the apex angle, then if we subtract this from 180, okay, whatever we get here will now be divided by 2, all right? So this is what I'm going to do. Please, we are going to pay attention to this, okay? We are aware that this angle here is equal to this angle. So if this angle is y, it means that this angle is also y. All right, this angle is also y. And how do I know? I know because these are base angles of isosceles triangle. So how do I get my y? My y is equals to 180 minus this 36 here, minus 36 degree here. Okay, oh sorry, minus 36 degree. Okay, once you take 36 degrees away from 180, whatever we got will now be for these two. All right, will now be for these two. You get it? Or if you don't get it, I'm going to use a simpler method. Okay, a simpler method. Now what it means is that this is x, this is y. If this is y, it means that this will also be y. This will also be y, because this y is equal to this y. All right, so these y are equal because they are base angles of isosceles triangle. Okay, or we can simply call it x, y, z. Okay, let's call here z. Z is equals to y. Z is equals to y. Then what is the solution? What is the reason for the equality? We call it base angles of isosceles triangle. Okay, call it base angles of isosceles. Base angles of isosceles triangle. Base angles of isosceles triangle. They are equal. Are equal. Are equal. So they are equal. That is the meaning. So if they are equal, it means that each of them will take half of what is left when x is subtracted from 180. All right? Each of them will take half of what is left when any of them is subtracted from 180. But we are looking for y, not z. But z is equals to y. It means is that y is equals to 180 degrees minus 36 degrees, then all divided by 2. So that is the value for y, and that is also the value for z too. Okay, that is the value for z. All right, that is the implication. Y is equals to z, and it's equals to what? 180 minus 36 divided by 2. So 180 minus 30. 180 minus 30 is 150. 150 minus 6 is 144. 150 minus 6 is 144. And we can then divide by 2. If we divide by 2, we are going to get 72 here degrees. So this is the value for x, for y rather. Okay, so this is the solution to the question, to the 5th question for today's class. Okay, welcome to AZ Science TV, and I do hope you are getting some values in today's class. All right, so I wish you all the best as you derive value from my video, and I do hope that you are not left out. All right, so thank you very much for joining. If you are just joining for the first time, let me re-explain what I've said so far. Here, we are told to find the value of y. Okay, but we are giving 144. We are not, there was no letter here, okay, but we have to put in letters to help us get a better understanding of the topic. So what we are to do here is to find a way to get this value here. Once we get this value, we can simply, another easy way to get the value, you can see from here, all right, without wasting time, we can see that 144, this is 144. So what it means is that the short trick, let me show you the short way, another way to get it. This z, we are aware that z, short trick. Let me give you the trick. I call it trick, the short method. Just look at it. Z plus y. Z plus y is equals to 144 degrees. If you don't want to use this long method, okay, you can use z plus y is equals to 144 degrees. What is the reason? The reason is because this one is opposite interior angles. This exterior angle, okay, this exterior angle is equals to the two opposite interior angles summed together. All right, so we call it exterior angles. Exterior angle of triangles. Okay, exterior angle of the triangle. So the exterior angle, this interior angle when added up will give us the opposite exterior angle. Okay, or the exterior angle is equals to the sum of the opposite interior angles. All right, so z plus y is equals to 144. All right, that is z plus y. So the question is, z is equals to y. We are aware z is equals to y. So since recall that z is equals to what? Y. So we can just make here to be y plus y equals to 144 degrees. 144 degrees. Yes, since z is equal to y, take away the z and put y in place of z. That gives us 2y is equals to 144 degrees. So what is now y? Y is equals to 144 degrees divided by 2. That gives y to be what? 72 degrees. So you can use this simple trick, okay? You can use this simple trick here. This one here, all right? You can use this particular one to solve it and get the same answer. If you don't want to use this method, use this short method, okay? Because when you add up these two, they will give you this. And we are aware that these two are equal. So since they are equal, just add them up and get the exterior angle. So from there, we can get our solution. So that is for question number 5. Question number 5. So let's take the next question, which is question number 6. I hope we are following this class. All right. So thank you very much for being a member or being a part of the class for today. So we go to the next one, which is question number 6. Okay, that will be the last question for this morning. Question number 6. So this one is going to be very interesting. Please just stay. I'll just stay around and stick around to the end. Okay. Then I'm going to show you this. So this is the very last one too. Look at it here. Okay. We are using something like this. So here we have 32 degrees. Now you can see this wonderful question. All right. You can see this wonderful question here. Now in this question is a triangle in which you can take out 3 triangles from here. Okay. We have triangle ABD. We have triangle ABC. We have triangle ADC or ACD. So these are the 3 triangles that can be made from here. So we are going to use our discretion to find the triangles you are looking for. So we are to find the value, we are to find angle, find the value of angle. So we are going to find the value of angle QPR. QPR. So we have to find angle QPR. What is angle QPR? Look at it here. Okay, we are not looking for QPR. QPR. We are looking for BAC. Okay, not QPR, please. BAC. BAC. So that's what we are looking for here. All right. So BAC. Look at the angle here. So let's use a letter to represent it. Let's say X. All right. So we are using X to represent the angle we are looking for. This angle. So you notice that this shape has to do with isosceles triangle. Yes, it has to do with isosceles triangle. In each, you notice that in each of these triangles here, 2 sides are equal. In triangle ACD, 2 sides are equal. AC is equals to CD. You can see here in this triangle, this side here, AC is equals to CD. Then in this triangle, in triangle ABC, you also notice that AB is equal to AC. So that is the principle upon which we are going to solve this this triangle. Okay. So what do we do first? We are going to say that triangle. Question number 1. Triangle triangle CAD. Okay, triangle C. So not triangle. We are going to say in triangle ACD. In triangle ACD. All right. In triangle ACD, CAD, angle CAD. Yes, angle CAD is equals to angle CDA or ADC. Let's call it ADC. All right, which means this angle and this angle are equal. They are equal. Okay, and that is equals to what? 32 degrees. Okay, and this is equals to okay, it says the two are equal. It means that triangle, it means that angle ADC is equals to 32 degrees. What is the reason? Please, let's check out the reason. I'm sure we understand the reason why they are equal. All right? Hope you understood the reason. Look at the reason here. The reason is because they are base angles of isosceles triangle. That's what we are going to write. Call it base angles of isosceles triangle. That's the reason. So we call it base angles of isosceles. Isosceles what? ACD. ACD. Isosceles triangle ACD. This triangle is isosceles. So these two are equal. All right. Then how do we get the next one? Look at it here. To get this angle here, all right, to get this angle here, this angle, let's call this angle Y. To get Y is the same thing. Y is equals to Y, this angle Y, okay, which is Y. Y is simply equal to this angle and this angle. These base angles, these two angles will give us Y when summed up. So Y equals angle CAD plus angle ADC. Yes. What is the reason? Exterior angle, okay? Exterior angle. This angle is exterior to this triangle, okay? It's exterior. So exterior angle, call it exterior angles. Okay? Exterior angle, okay, exterior angle of triangle ACD, yeah, of triangle ACD. Please permit me to write it here. Of triangle ACD. So that's what we have here. All right. These two will add up to give Y, because Y is the exterior angle of this. Okay. So what it means is that we'll now have 32 degrees plus another 32 degrees, because they are equal. Both of them are equal. CAD and ADC are equal. So it means that our Y, don't forget, Y is ACB. Don't forget that. Okay? If we add up, we'll get 64 degrees. That is, this means that ACB, okay, Y equals Y equals triangle ACB, okay, ACB, which is equals to 64 degrees. Okay, that is what it is here. 64 degrees. Then how do we get this? How do we get x? All right. We already know that these two are equal. These two are equal for the same reasons. All right. So let's call here z. Z. So if we add z and y, subtract from 180, we will get what is here. Okay. So which means BAC, angle BAC is equals to Z is equals to 180 degrees minus Z plus Y. Okay, divided by minus Z plus Y. Yes, yes, yes. And we already know that 180 degrees. These two are equal. Z and Y are equal. All right, which is what? 64, 64, right? So the both of them are 64, 64. This is Z and Y. So both of them are 64, 64, which means we have 64 plus 64. So that gives 180 degrees minus is 128 degrees. All right. So if we subtract this, 100 minus 100 is gone. So 80 minus 20 is 60. 60 minus 8 is 52. 52 degrees. So this is the solution to the question. So thank you very much for being here and being a part of this class. I wish you all the best and enjoy the rest of your holiday as you resume tomorrow. Goodbye and God bless you.